These are the dominant 7th chords with a 13th, a sharp 9 and a flat 9, and a sharp 11 or a flat 5 on the 2, 3, 4, 5 string group. And these are based on the dominant diminished scale or the octatonic scale. And these will be on F sharp or G flat. So I'll begin with F sharp, dominant 7th chords on F sharp, and then we'll move to diminished chords on G. And we start with F sharp, A sharp, E, and A, familiar F sharp 7, sharp 9. The moves from here are obviously the A to G, a flat 9. The E can go to E flat for a 13th with a flat 9 sound. Then we can move the E flat back to E, bring the C sharp and the tenor voice, so F sharp, C sharp, E, and G. And then a C, which is a C major triad over an F sharp, and then back to the flat 9. So that, and then resolving to a B, for example. We can move the chords down further in this direction. Here's the 13 flat 9 or an E flat over an F sharp, F sharp, B flat, E flat, and G. Move the top G to E, and we have a 13th chord, F sharp, A sharp, D sharp, and E. And again, thirds movable. Now from here, we can move the D sharp to C and get an F sharp 7 with a flat 5. Or we can take both down. We can take the A sharp down to G. So we have a C over an F sharp. And these fourths are movable. They're movable as well. The B flat and E flat going to G and C. And each component part, they can move independently. So there are many different options for moving those chords in minor thirds, of course, to make the dominant sound that's required. Again, the flat 9 and sharp 9. So that's F sharp, A sharp, G, and A. And I'll resolve that to D there. That could resolve to a B or an F. So any of those is fine. There it goes to F. Moving forward in this direction, F sharp, D sharp, E, and C is fine. And resolving to a traditional 13th on the B flat. So F sharp, D sharp, E, and B flat. Again, this is thirds. So any of those, they sound nice, and then it resolved to a B or a D, either one. Also in that direction, moving from the F sharp, we have formations like this, F sharp, C sharp, G, and C, and resolving to a B in that case. Now, this is an interesting formation because we can swap out the perfect fourths and fifths. So F sharp and C sharp are a fifth, G and C are a fifth, or a fourth. So then all of a sudden we can make it G, C, F sharp, and C sharp. So we swap the F sharp on top, and then we can move that top voice to the B flat. So F sharp, C sharp, G, and C becomes G, C, F sharp, and C sharp. Move the top voice to an A sharp. So again, move that in minor thirds as well. So that here it is in E flat and resolving to A flat. So that's another type of move where voice exchange comes into play and creates different voicings. The traditional chords, F sharp, C sharp, E, and A sharp. F sharp 7, there are four dominants and 4 minor 7s, minor flat 5s, etc. in this. So if we look at that, F sharp, and then we have the A, G, C sharp, E, and A. Going from A, we have a B, the C7. Sorry, this is G, C, E, and B flat. And of course, E flat 7. which is G, D flat, E flat, and B flat. So any of those, all those can be moved in minor thirds. So they all have movability in minor thirds. Same with the minor sevenths, and to illustrate those, you can see how sixths move, and they kind of relate to a diminished chord too. So, for instance, here's an F sharp minor 7, E, C sharp, A, and F sharp. Move each six. If you move one group of sixths up, you have a diminished. So I moved the A to F sharp up. Now, if I go back and I move the E to C sharp down, we have another diminished. So it's really, so this is an F sharp minor 7 to a C minor 7. The six move in opposite directions, contrary motion, and the same here. And that resolving to B minor in that case, because we had an A minor going to E flat minor and then resolving to B minor. Okay, so that would constitute some of the basic moves off the basic F sharp chord. Same holds true for minor sevenths. F sharp minor 7, C minor 7. So mixing in with dominance, here's E flat to C7, F sharp to C minor, and then resolving to B minor or B major. It doesn't matter, either one. Either one is fine there, but the movement is noted between minor sevens and dominant sevens, and they can be freely interchanged and resolved. Now we'll move to the dominant chord and see how it moves from the diminished. So we'll go to G diminished, G, D flat, E, and B flat. Top voice can be moved to C, that's common. That's a very, very common move. And then resolve to D in that case. So it can also move backwards. If this moves backwards, we have A7. And if we move the top voice backwards again, we have an E flat sharp 9, which is G, D flat, E flat, and F sharp, moving to an E. Also, if we go to the sharp 9 and we move the E flat to E, we have a nice melodic, movable formation that's just common. So that was just G, D flat, E, and F sharp, and moving at minor thirds. Resolving to B, or D flat 11, either one, it's very similar. Moving again back to the diminished chord, move it backwards, it's an E flat 7, flat 5, so we can see how those chords, and a standard 13, that's nice, and that's just a regular 13th chord on E flat, G, D flat, E flat, and C. Now if we go back to the diminished, we move the alto voice, the E flat to F sharp, we have an F sharp over G, so very common as a diminished sequence. From here, moving the top voice, that's interesting. And common, again, another common sort of move. So that's a very common diminished sequence. And it sort of moves to a 13th chord too. So again, we have like a, that's a 13th type sound there. That would be B flat, E, A, and C. And obviously the top voices can move. And resolve. So they're all a part of the scale. Interesting, if we take this, we can also move this sort of formation from the diminished. We can move this note, the G. This is G, C sharp, F sharp, and C. Again, a combination of fourths and tritones, fifths, however you want to look at this. And in fact, if you do the voice exchange, you get this, which we looked at in relation to this. Just a collapse of the voice exchange. And we can move the G to A sharp. So we have these sort of triads that come from this. So this is an F sharp triad with a C, moving to an E, and resolving to a D. Now going back to this particular chord, we can also sort of mirror the shape, which is a very interesting diminished chord. So this is G, C sharp, F sharp, and C, mirroring to B flat, D flat, G flat, and A, and then moving the top voice again. So we have this, and we can hear that. That's a nice resolution. Again, movable by minors, minor thirds. So, that's a very movable, nice formation for the diminished. In addition to this, with this diminished, we can also move the tenor voice only, which is, move it back to a dominant. So we have a sharp 9 sound, G, D sharp, E, and B flat, going to C sharp to C. It's almost like a C7 sharp 9, flat 9, and then back. And a very nice shape to move and resolve to F minor in that case. So that's an effective shape. And it can also, you can move 2 notes at a time. So from that shape, B flat, F sharp, G, and D flat, you can move the B flat to C, and then the C sharp to D sharp. So you're moving these thirds, tenths. Useful sort of shape. Also, the earlier sharp 9s move these sorts of things. So this was a, well, I'll do it on F sharp. B flat or G flat, B flat, G flat, A, and E. Moving the top voice to C, moving into minor thirds. Now an E flat 7 sharp 9, C7 sharp 9, resolving to a B. So that's a nice move. You can hear they all have the same function. Okay. Additionally, from the minor 7, the sharp 9 sound can be planed as well with intervals on the top. In this case, G, C, D flat, and A, resolving to a C minor 7, G, C, E flat, and B flat. You get the 6th, and then to moving. So that would be another one that's very common, resolving to F minor. So this, A to C, A7 sharp 9 to C minor, C sharp 7 to E flat, sharp 9 to E flat sharp 9 to F sharp minor, to F minor, 9 in that case. So that will give you just a basic introduction to some of the possibilities on the diminished scale dominant chords. And this would be on the 2, 3, 4, 5 string family, on F sharp or G flat.